Hello. Hi. Good to see you all. I'm gonna probably start reading maybe 5 after in like 4 minutes. I see 2 eyes. Let me know if you can't hear me. Yay! Thanks for being here, you all. Thanks for saying you can hear me. Yeah, I'm gonna start in like 3 minutes just to get some more folks to come in. I guess I'll just start chatting a little bit. I'm Jalynn Harris, and I am a poet. That's why you're here. These aren't my PJs, but it is Lisa Simpson saying feminist. So, you know. Well, it is what it is. Just a really nice sweater. I am going to be reading from my self-published chapbook, Exit Through the Afro. This was actually my MFA thesis project. I wrote and all the poems, obviously. I made the book. I laid it out. I made the cover art. It's mine. So the book is mostly like a combination of my literary work and my visual work. Just so you can see. And I'll be reading a little bit from Exit Through the Afro, and then I'm going to read some newer since that time work. I'm going to see if I can adjust my settings because I think it'll help with the stream. Oops. I will be taking questions in the end. Am I still here? So feel free to send some questions into the chat. Feel free to at any time, and I will see them at some point. And feel free to engage however you want to. If you want to, put some exclamations in the chat, some virtual claps, feel free. But yeah, we'll be taking questions at the end. I'm going to give us like 1 more minute, and then I'm just going to start reading. And I'll read her for about 20 minutes. Just keep an eye on the time. Thank you again for being here, hanging out with me and my words mostly. Yeah, and if anyone would like to rest a copy of the poems being read for accessibility purposes, feel free to email Poets in Pajamas during the reading because they will be able to send you a transcript for you to read. Um, and if you are interested in my work and you like my work, you can always visit me at JalynHarris.com. Cool. So that's some of the prelim. I'm gonna read a poem to kind of get me in the mood of reading poems. It's a heart opener poem. This poem is called Coherence. Stand back, because I can feel my heart radiating right outside my body. 6 feet in front of me, I can feel me. My heart and iris, I can see the healthy variation in between, beat by beautiful black beat. Because it beats, I can be myself. So stand back, cause my heart is pumping 6 feet in all directions. My specific predilection for love. And all that I am within and through radiates outwardly. Can you feel me reaching for you with the heart of my words? Like a sword lily on a sill, or the unit in the window, in the middle of summer, dripping ink into the pavement of this page, all so you can feel that I am thankful, beat by thumping beat to be. I'm going to read the first poem in Exit Through the Afro. The poem that we enter the Exit Through the Afro, I describe it as a museum in verse. It's a museum of contemporary and modern queer life, queers in fiction, people who have been fictionalized as queer, and myself. And the poem starts with the book starts with a door for us to enter into. The poem is called Origin Story. I was born with my eyes wide open, in between Afro tango and Afro twist, sliding out of Afro vulva. I gave the biggest Afro holler. Ooh wee! It echoed across 5 scalps, so they called me Afro Kiki. And I was hungry. I couldn't stop eating Afro turf. The other kids thought I was as odd as an afro, but I didn't care because I knew what I liked to do, sitting between the afro reeds reading. I could be anywhere I wanted to be. When I was 12, my mother, when I was 12, I started growing an afro beard. It made me shy like mosquitoes in autumn. So my mama decided it was time for me to travel up the mountain. Gathering my afro hurt and my big heart, I followed. At the top there was a tree, slouched like a bat, a sleeping shack the exact length of my legs, and a pair of afro clippers. One of my mamas rolled the blunt. The other explained that soon I'd be bald. I cried as she cut. Big tears tumbled from my scalp. It looked like it was snowing in Africa. When she was done, my mamas told me I'd have to spend some time alone. On my first Afroless night, I parted my thighs so I could breathe deeply. On the second night, I started writing poems because I had nothing else to play with. Okay, so a few years ago I wrote this poem, imagining Phyllis Wheatley, the very first, if you're not familiar with who Phyllis Wheatley is, she was the very first black person, black woman, um, black writer to be published in poetry. She was stolen from Senegambia way back when Senegal and Gambia were one. giant country, lines, borders, and brought to the New World, to the Americas, to work, to be enslaved, and to be forced into slavery. Despite that, Phillis Wheatley became a poet and multilingual, traveled all around the world. And so this poem imagines, it's called Phillis Wheatley Questions the Quarter. Who head of the quarter? Who 25 pennies add 'em up? Who spangled the liberty of in God we founded? Who tied till the black hand? Who wrote founding? Who indivisible the divisible by four? Who chew red USA? Who chew blue? Who chew white? Who creaked the colony? Who halftime times two? Who ridges on the side of the circle? Who meter the black thumb-like land? Who fit the corn in the bubblegum slot? Who white Jesus gather the 13? Who white head, white wig, white tongue? Who little white lie? Who Mount Martha? Who wrote Latin on the back? Who lying like it can be read? Who changes state like a lake? Who lived free or die? Who popped the Coke can with a quarter? Who sketched the shack with the mountains in the back? Who vend the womb for a coin? Who set the old line and rode the island? Who quarters on the black road with white ticks? Who made it circle like a too perfect eye? Who slung it like a round rung rope? Who out of many won? Who quintet the nickel 5 times 5? Who sixpence the land for tails? Now turn it over. Who on who back? This next poem is a duplex, a form created by Jericho Brown not too long ago. This is a pretty contemporary form. And you'll hear the repetition, but essentially the duplex is you're repeating it's couplets, and you're repeating the last line of the previous couplet in the first and the next line in some form. The Watermelon Woman. Don't look now. I'm carrying lips that get stuck like dreams in a coma. When you don't look at me, my heart breaks like commas. Or Baltimore, a city of potholes we lie and call a city. Baltimore constructed my body, a city made of ebonics. Call it genetic stuttering, flowers catching the flu. Genetic in this dream, touch me, no one else will. My mother only ever had my father. My father only ever had my mother. Lonely on a lake. Like a loon on a lake, I echo. Now I'm carrying. I'm going to take a break from this collection, exit to the Afro. I'm going to come back to it, maybe end us out, round us out with some poems collection. But I want to transition into some newer work. I'll read this one. I was writing a lot of poems about my heart at a certain time, and I guess I'll read some of those. This poem is called "The Lump." The lump. The lump inside my heart ain't light. In fact, I'm told it just might explode. Love, the thesis of my young life. the light upon my old longing. I list the lies and the liars until I am energized with ire. Who could begin to hold me long like the day, longing? The bird sits on a wire and weighs it down, waiting. The wire remembers it's a wire. This poem is called The Life of a Writer. Another poem about my heart. The life of a writer is desire. I hammer into the page. I make up my mind. The streetlight is not the moon, but anything can be made beautiful under the ease of my hammer. I wish you could see that I write in blue ink, the color of oceans and early mornings, and everything is clear, like tears rushing towards the chin of my desire. I pen what I'm meant to pen. How deep in love I am, and how funny of me to spend all morning dreaming about love and not expect my desire to set me free. The knives of my fingers tap out the notion that if I turn the key, it will unlock. Admittedly, I am foolish about love. A simple yes excites me, because I know that all that I require will be met. Like water meets the tongue. It's scary, desire. A small fan at my window in the summer, a book light lighting the pages of my life. In the vein of Ars Poetica, this poem is aptly named Ars Poetica. This next poem. The line holds this load to laugh a little more lightly. How good it is to have weight, to go another round of balancing my call to worship sounds. I praise my pen, oh sweet, mysterious channeling. My sterling sings, my heart jolts, the living room of my life lights. More love poems. This poem's called Can You Believe It? Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Tuesdays too, the ocean rides the thighs of beachgoers, and dolphins swim in circles far beyond what the ferry can carry from Cape Henlopen to Cape May. The waves roll out like working people, and as we float on, I hold your hand as tightly as I can. And if I haven't said already, the sunset of this summer is such a bummer. Each day with you has been as easy and as beautiful as coneflowers as they devour entire fields of my heart. I feel my heart big like the lowering sun. I look to you and see the day grow pink like ice cream dripping off the stick of the earth. Can you believe it? Our love drives the vehicle. The sun licks the dirt. Jalynn in Waryland. I'm afraid of all the things I love about you. I have been known to remember rejection that did not happen and feed it like a goldfish I won at the fair. I have been known to go underground with ink pens. I have been known to put away my longing like laundry. Once, I smiled deep within my stomach, but quickly threw up because I felt something so sweet was also spoiled. Once, I cried so loudly in a park I forgot where I was, and I still did not ask for help. I have gone after people with heavy footsteps. I have gone after people with my beauty. I go to sleep and have dreams about losing my heart and getting so sick with grief that I wander empty streets until I meet a train that takes me to a junkyard of other broken machines. I have gone after my loneliness with pages in a book. I have gone after my peace with this poem so that I can look into the fishbowl and see I am still here pinching the waters with my pincers. That poem was written in the style of Wanda Coleman, the great sonneteer, the woman who created the American sonnet, both in form and language. Wanda has a poem called Wanda in Maryland. I'm going to read just a few more poems for you all. Time is swiftly walking away from us. I'm gonna read something a little funny and something a little sad, and then I guess I'll read something from my book. This poem is called Next System. I don't know about you, but this time in the pandemic, so many words could be offered and have been offered about the pandemic, but I miss the library, I think, more than anything. And I know libraries are open now. They're not open at the capacity or the length of time they used to be. And I definitely don't go there like at the time or the capacity I used to. But I miss the library so much all the time. I spent my whole life there. So this poem is called Next System. And it's, for libraries and librarians. Shouts out to my mom. Next System. Libraries are the first vanguard of socialism. No graveyard is quiet, but sometimes they're a good place for walking your dog for an hour. Yes, I mean to say, libraries are a great place for public masturbation, a free playground for the mind. In time, I'll read every book about me. I'll climb the Black Learning Tree at no cost. Authors exchange means of meaning. At the library, the people decide the value of public paper. Sure, villains and heroes remain, but there are no borders to the imagination, no unnecessary expansion of voices, only refined arguments over fines or more computer time. Can you hear it? The rinsing hum of learning as common as the people. It is so easy to have nothing here, to sit alone at the table and open a book, a worn screen of parchment, and see yourself damaged in all the right words. I'm going to read just two more poems. This is a contrapuntal, so you're gonna hear me read the poem 3 times. I'll read it. A contrapuntal is a poem that can be read horizontally and vertically. So I'm gonna read down and then over, and then I'm gonna read both. So you'll hear a lot of repetition. I'll just drink some water before I read this poem 3 times. It's called mother tongue. I be something cause she be po-preterite. What had happened been bad. When I can't hold breath in my mouth, she fights for support. Ghetto is a concord of the skin. Still, she survived the semantic bleaching. To escape, she loves. She's like my mom's. She tell me I'm bad and it's a habit. She habitual be, a rule-bound rope. She don't fuck with copulas. Been done. She itis of the tongue. She be a sentence, another something worked. She work. Bad English is what dummy do. Talk is habit of us in the hood. She ain't seen no simple past. This complex present is not nice, nor a thing without invention, without dying. And I'm the kid. I ain't perfect, but I can't never not be home at the door of my tongue. I be something cause she habitual be. She be a rule-bound rope. Po-preterite, she don't fuck with copulas. What had happened, been done. She been bad. Itis of the tongue. When I can't, she be a whole breath sentence. Another something worked in my mouth. She fights for bad English. Support is what dummy do. Ghetto is talk, is habit. A concord of us in the hood of the skin. She ain't seen no simple past. Still, she survived this complex present, this semantic bleaching. Is not nice, nor a thing to escape without invention. She loves without dying. She's like my mom's, and I'm the kid. She tell me I ain't perfect, but I'm bad. And I can't never not be home. It's a habit at the door of my tongue. Okay, I'm going to read the last poem. Honestly, I've been trying to challenge myself to read things I haven't been reading so much. So I guess I'll read a poem I've never read out loud. I don't really have a memory of reading this poem. This poem is another language poem. It's called Diphthong of the Year Dies in Tragic Accident, or Ode to the Letter I. Survive does not survive the absence of I, neither does time, nor premonition, not even figurative tradition. Republican surely dies. Baloney remains. Remands. Where's my cat? There is no I in team, but it might help that both must be dealt with, kind of like spectacles, an eye to see two ways, a tunnel to tuck a light deeper in the back of your throat. Open up, say ah, E ends the dip, the thong, a thin marriage of pirates agreeing not to sneeze, which is strange, because why I when you could chew? Nothing couldn't. Everything can't. Work lives on. Continents kiss like cousins. Moist becomes most. Noise becomes a nose that can't sniff. And sugar, honey, tea sticks like shit on a tongue without ice. There is no high or legalization or motion to move forward, and nothing at the end of why. Okay, I'm really going to read one last poem. Maud Martha reads me. If nothing, I hope that you all read Maud Martha. That's really what I want to say. It's one of my favorite books. Gwendolyn Brooks' only novel, the only novel she ever published, Maud Martha. And this poem imagines Maud Martha reading me. Jalynn, you can't keep sitting here holding me like a mirror. I'm not your lover, and sure, my author is dead, but that doesn't make me the Bible. Under all these systems of change, we all want something to hold that will hold us back. So let go of this fiction that you are original for needing to be held. And as much as you think you know, you have no idea what it's like to live in a book. Every day is like listening to other people fuck on the other side of a thin wall. Focus on your own words. Arrange this blank white space. Your black mark is magic. Because across from this couch, there will always be a couch wrapped in plastic that you won't be allowed to sit on. Get up. Didn't you write this poem? Don't you choose how it ends. Wonderful. Okay, so I'm taking questions for sure. Oh wow, I didn't see her. I can read that poem. I got a request. Okay, wonderful. Thank you for putting the Maud Martha book in the chat, SJ. I got a request from the woman who birthed me to read another poem, so I will do that. This one is Moms Mabley at the Apollo in 3022. If you don't know Moms Mabley, she was a comedian, a lesbian comedian who traveled a lot around the Chitlin circuit, which was like a performance circuit for Black artists in the early 1900s, after the Great Migration. So I guess 20s to 40s, 50s. I'm not sure time, but Moms Mabley at the Apollo 3022. I'm so old, my teeth divorced me for the fork. So old, like when Cotton used to pick slaves, and the zodiac asked me to be the 13th sign. I'm older than my birthday. So old, like Columbus did my first tattoo, and Sacagawea asked me what was just around the river bend. I'm old, like when rocks used to play marbles, and I'm so old, gravity asked me how to hang. Starts tap dancing. I'm so old, my knees divorced me for them even older women, arthritis. I'm so old, the leaves in my skirt change colors in autumn. I'm so old, the Grim Reaper begs me not to knock, and old like my first stage was an auction. Old like I'm the reason Shakespeare likes black girls. I'm so old, this dance looks like I've fallen and can't get up. I'm so old, when I was young, a Democrat was an elephant and an elephant wasn't in the room. I'm so old, when I was growing up, gay was straight and old. I'm sold, I'm sold, I'm sold. I'm older than my mama and my grandmama. And you so old, you forgot you gave me this name. Laughing dollars at this auction. Thanks for putting my book in the chat, SJ. And thank you, Norman. And I see you, Mandy. And I see you, Miss Gina. It's good to see you all. And it's good to see you, JJ. I'm really happy y'all came out. I will continue to chat for like a minute or two just to wait for some questions to come through. I guess a little bit of background about how I got to write this book. I got an MFA in creative writing and book design, and now I love making books as much as I love writing, though it's a whole nother part of my brain and energy. But the first poem I wrote in the book was a pilot to me imagining an alternate lesbian black pilot to the L Word. That's really how the book began. And I wanted Joan Armour Trading and Tracy Chapman to be flirting. and I wanted Ida B. Wells and Frances E.W. Harper to like be lovers. So I decided I was just going to create these worlds and these poems for them, and then the book kind of exploded from that energy of wanting to see more of myself in history, wanting to the tea of like, okay, we have these iconic Black women. What were their lives, their love lives like? And yes, they were lesbians. So who were they with? So um, that's that's the really inspiration behind Exit the Afro. Um, and I got to spend a lot of time with Cheryl Dunye, not in real life. I got to spend a lot of research reading time with folks, um, like Ida B. Wells, like Cheryl Dunye, like Rosetta Tharpe, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, Gladys Bentley, Simone Manuel. So the book is really in persona of a lot of women, Black women, cis, trans, and um, even trans men. Yeah, it's just a queer experience in prose and like the life of, I guess, my own imagination meeting the information I never got to have. You know, I don't know. I wish I had the receipts to know what the revolutionaries were up to, the lesbian revolutionaries were up to back in the day, and how they built an ethic around loving. So I wanted to create some of those transcripts, I guess. Um, I'm just going to check the comments or questions. Right now, as far as influences, I think my work is heavily influenced by other living and fictional queers, just their lives, I think. Um, and it is also, I'm also inspired by writers, like contemporary writers, like Eve Ewing. God, I love her work. Um, Writers who have passed, Lucille Clifton. I don't think we can't go past a reading without mentioning Lucille's impact in American letters, but also on the city of Baltimore. She was our poet laureate. She was Maryland's poet laureate for many years. Um, I really love, Robert Hayden. I mean, yeah, um, first Black poet laureate to be. And yeah, I'm inspired by Rita Dove. Obviously, I love her so much. Lately, I've been reading a lot of Yusuf Komanyaka and Douglas Kearney. Very different writers, both brilliant. I think my influences are definitely spread out across like language poetry and narrative poetry and like my own lived experiences and the experiences of queer blacks over time, Black people over time. So yeah, I think that's like my inspiration. And I also am inspired by fiction. I love fiction. Okay, great. Um, well, I don't see any questions. So I'm going to just close the live, but feel free to add me on Facebook around in the world. So thank you so much.